Hey folks, Dr. Mike Israetel here for Renaissance Periodization, Hypertrophy Made Simple video number 15, matching your training to your diet. We have other videos on YouTube that cover this, Hypertrophy Guide Central Hub, and we have a bunch of books, The Renaissance Diet 2.0. Look that up for a much more detailed guide. This is the super quickest guide on the internet you'll ever see to matching your training to your diet. Here's the deal. When you're dieting to gain weight and hypothetically gain mass, you train normally like we've described in all of the videos before, minimum effective volume to maximum recoverable, all the intensities, so on and so forth, no big deal. For maintenance dieting, when you're not actively trying to gain weight to put on muscle or lose fat, you can train normally and see some gains, especially if you're a beginner and intermediate. As you get to be more advanced, you want to save the maintenance phase for low volume training to recoup and recover so that you can go back to doing training in gaining phases sooner or fat loss phases sooner, because those are the real meat and potatoes phases that make you better. Maintenance phase doesn't make you better as much as it's more of a break, especially when you're advanced. For more details on how to do low volume maintenance phases, check out video number 11 in this series. Lastly, what do you change for fat loss dieting? Here's the deal. You train normally, but you make smaller load and repetition jumps week to week, session to session, because your fatigue window is very narrow. You accumulate fatigue very quickly. You don't adapt as quickly. So you have to make much smaller incremental steps in how many reps you add or weight you add, and so on and so forth. Same thing with sets. You're not going to be able to add as many sets. And because fatigue accumulates very quickly on fat loss phases, your maximum recoverable volume comes down to meet you. So MRV per week may normally be, as an example, 20 sets per week. You start at your normal, minimum effective volume, maybe 10, you start at 12 or something just to offset the catabolism. And you say, okay, I'm going to get to 20. You may actually have to stop at 16 or 17 because your MRV has descended due to that really catabolic, really high fatigue environment. So don't expect to get to your normal volumes. Just do your best to auto-regulate, train nice and hard, but don't expect to be breaking any crazy PRs. And lastly, do not prioritize any muscle groups. Prioritizing muscle groups is pointless because you don't even have the resources to grow them. Like, you're training them extra hard, but how come you're not even eating enough food to grow them extra hard? And worst part is training some muscles extra hard on a priority phase means you train other muscles not as hard. And then those not as hard muscles are going to lose muscle potentially. So when you're dieting for fat loss, you train everything rather evenly. Folks, give that some thought. Best of luck. See you next time for the last video in the series.